intros.
Like,
we're doing it live.
Just a hard cold open, dude. Just a hard cold open. I love it.
Fucking vibes are high, brother.
I apologize.
Hello, I'm AJ Wilkerson.
I'm Jake Rubel.
Cody Ray.
Travis Brown.
Mitch Thompson.
Sam Christ.
And now that we're all asked backwards, ask your questions and go ahead.
There we
I was
go.
just gonna say,
That's all we needed.
AJ in his comedy talks a lot about like his upbringing, childhood stuff like that, and I feel like a lot of comedians have like kind of fucked up childhoods and like crazy shit they like to talk about. Like, what was that for you? Because you didn't talk about it in your set tonight, I guess.
Oh, you didn't hear the parts about my dad?
Well, I just heard your dad's an asshole. But yeah,
No, I mean,
that's not.
yeah, like I was raised by a biker and a hippie.
Hell yeah.
My dad was a biker.
It's not obvious at all.
Deadly
Right,
combo.
yeah. Exhibit A. Like we didn't have running water in our house until I was like 11 or something like that. Like it was a weird childhood. Like everybody else was buying CDs and I was like, check out this cassette. Like cassettes were new to me because I grew up on like records. I always felt like behind everybody that I was growing up with. But I mean, it sucked at the time, I think, but like looking back, it's like, I don't know, dude. It was just,
It's working.
yeah, it was weird. I mean, it definitely a weird childhood, weird shit happened, but it was also just like, all right, cool. Well, I'm here now.
Every great comedian has a background that's just fucked up. Like it's just part of the game.
Yeah, but I think at like some point, like you just feel like whenever you're saying shit, like it's, to me, I'm like, I don't think a lot of the shit's weird. I'm just like I'll tell AJ stories sometimes. Like my dad, and AJ is always telling me to tell this story, but my dad on Thanksgiving one time pulled a knife on me.
Hell yeah.
When I was like 15, but it's like funny to me. Because it was like I was 15 and he brought his new girlfriend over. It was like the first time I was meeting her. And my dad had a type. Like he always dated chicks who looked like Tom Petty. I'm serious, dude. Like it was weird. And when she came in, I was like, "Oh, dude, she doesn't look like Tom Petty at all."
Oh fuck.
and then she kind of like looked
grace.
No, I was like, she looks like Steven Tyler. And he didn't like it, so we started kind of fighting, and I got the upper hand. It was like the first time I ever was like, oh, dude, I'm going to win. Like, I had him in a headlock. I was like, dude, I'm going to win for the first time ever. Like, this is a big moment for me. And then I just heard a click, and he pulled his pocket knife out. Oh, because my dad's not going to lose a fight. So I just heard a click. And then my grandma's sitting at the kitchen table, and she goes, Tim, don't cut him. He's your boy. So, like, to me, that's, like, a funny story. Like, yeah, that happened. But a lot of other people are like, that's messed up.
Yeah. Dude. Some
So
stories you don't know are weird until you tell them to someone for the first time, and you just hear back, oh, no.
Yeah.
Like, are you okay?
No.
Why do you think you just stand up?
You're laughing more than everyone else. And
Math
like,
is
man,
on
you
the
should
board.
probably
It's
see a
like,
therapist,
Look
dude.
at me, dude. Are you kidding? I'm not okay.
We're here because we ran out of options.
Yeah.
So on the road, as you guys are going on there, what is some really fucked up fun activities that you guys do? Because we've had a lot of conversations with like wrestlers and comedians that do like tricks to people that are on the road. Is there a thing that you guys consistently do to each other that just like it will never end? It's just the best.
Occasionally, and we don't do it often, but every now and then, one of us will see the other person's buttholes or balls. And it's
Just the
this-
balls?
It's like a thing. It happened because I walked into the green room one time, and I was getting ready to go on stage to start the show, and I walk into the green room, and AJ's in there, and I was like, "Hey," and I was very serious, and I was like, "Dude, I have a question. If you can't do it, it's fine. I just need to know, like, before I go on stage, like, is there any way?" And he's looking at me like so sincere, and I was like, "Is there any way you could show me your butthole?" and then he was like, "Oh yeah, dude, of course." And I laughed, and I went to go in the bathroom, and I turned around, and he's bent over with his pants around his ankles, showing it, and I was like, "Whoa!" And he goes, "You need a better look," and just opened it up, dude. Like just spread his cheeks. But then it was like,
Okay, still, he asked so sincerely. I was like, "Oh, something is wrong with his butthole," and he needs to say mine to know that his is okay.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, he has like a hemorrhoid. He thinks it's cancer. Like,
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
brotherly
yeah.
love.
That's not what happened though.
he's like, look, yours isn't that weird. It's fine.
They're both fucked up.
I love that there was no questions asked.
I just
It was
straight
like,
up,
all
I
right.
straight
That's a
Forrest
good
Gump
friend,
him,
dude.
I
That's- yeah.
straight Forrest Gump him.
I'd like to see that.
I'd like to see that. Okay.
That's a real homie move, right
Yeah,
there.
dude. It was. But now, like every now and then, I'll start to. I'll be like, "Hey, I have a question." He'll be like, "Ah," and I'm like, "No, I'm just kidding."
He's just ready to fly asshole at you, dude.
No, Jake occasionally, because we share hotel rooms a lot, and so we'll have like the double bed situation, and sometimes Jake will just randomly, I'll be sitting on my bed doing something, and he'll just randomly tackle me and yell "wrestling friend" and just hold me down for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, he's way bigger than me, but I'm weirdly strong.
It's weirdly strong when he surprise attacks you. You're just like you're caught
Well,
in the net.
I'm built like a dwarf, dude. Like we've been
Yeah,
in
he's
the
like,
cage.
I
for
can
a
live.
minute.
I'm holding the mountain.
Yeah, but yeah, wrestling friends a fun thing to do.
How long you guys been doing that?
I like 2 years maybe. It was like a year or two ago. It's probably about 2 years ago. It was just randomly. I said, "Hey, just a heads up." Like I gave him a warning. I said, "Hey, just a heads up. I think I'm gonna be the wrestling friend from now on." And he's like, "What is that?" And I said, "I'll just randomly wrestle you."
Oh, you'll find out.
At one of these times, you just gotta and just see what his reaction is immediately.
I'll get a switchblade comb, so it's like safe to get the noise.
Yeah, I'm like, "Oh."
Psychological warfare.
Yeah, I'm like, it's just like home, dude.
He hears Graham all over again. He's like, oh shit.
So you guys have been on the road for years now. Been to a lot of clubs. For someone like me, I'm a comedy guy. I listen to a lot of guys talk about being on the road. What does that really mean? Like, are you guys on tour buses ever? Are you flying, driving everywhere? And does it just get old traveling all the time?
We're in the car a lot. We've started strategically like picking and choosing where we fly. I've been on I was on Bert's tour bus for like a week.
Shout
I
out
went
Bert.
on tour with him for a little bit. Hell yeah, shout out Bert. So like I got that experience, and then but a regular comedy club weekend is either like drive or fly in, post up for a couple days, fly out like that. But the weekends are we're still trying to get weekends. So we'll get them our own weekends randomly here and there, but it's a lot of one nighters. So it's a lot of okay, we have 4 shows in 4 nights, but they're in 3 different cities. So it's drive, do a show. Wake up, drive, do 2 more shows. Wake up, drive, do the last show, and then at the end we're like, all right, now we gotta drag ass back home.
Dude, what was it like being on a tour with Bert? Like, I just can't even imagine.
It's amazing. It's exactly what you imagine. Like Bert is exactly what you imagine he is, and except sweeter. Like he's a nicer, he's just a sweetheart. Dude, one of the nights on the first night was in Chicago, and in a lot of the places, we shower in the arenas and the theaters and stuff. So we do the show, we finish, we wrap up everything, we shower, we go get back on the bus, and instead of a normal party night or going and drinking or everything, it was my first night there, so we all just hung out on the bus.
Dude,
It was just hey, we're all just gonna sit and hang and
That's gotta be
vibe.
nice though. A
Absolutely
change of
just
pace,
to
just being
leave.
able to sit down and really connect with a homie like that.
But then the one of the nights we did Van Andel, the night we did Van Andel Arena, that was the biggest night of that week. It was 11,000 people. And so after that night, he's like, we're fucking going out. And so we went he told 11,000 people, he's like, I'm going to either this bar or this bar. And then we went to one of the bars.
Oh,
so of
shit.
course it was
man.
Chaos.
absolute chaos. And then we ended up going to a second bar that he didn't tell anybody about that was shut down just for our group.
Yeah,
So that it was it was wild, insane for an hour, and then we just all went and chilled.
That's fucking sweet.
Fuck yeah, dude. One of the nights we had a dance party on the bus.
What the fuck? That's so good.
Yeah, just let's vibe. Somebody's turned on a Bluetooth speaker and literally we're fucking hitting the lights like it's a rave, and we were just fucking dance partying it.
You ever just mid rave just hit him with the wrestling friends? Fucking spear tackle someone in the middle of doing the Macarena.
Hell yeah.
Fucking sweet.
Snatching him up and just goes, I miss Jake.
I just call him from my bunk hey
He didn't wrestle me like you do.
There was a lot of screaming though.
No, you guys, you're do a lot of shows together. You don't even live in the same state, so correct?
Yeah,
So how does
did
that like
for,
work out?
We did for like 6 months. He lived in Indiana for like 6 months, but no, we've never really lived in the same state. We just meet up.
You just like meet halfway and it's
Yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, well, in the beginning he was homeless.
Yeah. And
He
Oh,
lived in
yeah.
his van in the
When I
beginning.
lived in the van.
So
Getting
then it's like he
waterboarded,
would
dude.
come stay with me. Like we would go out and we would do like 3 or 4 shows, so 3 or 4 nights, and then we'd come back home and he would just crash on my couch or like plug his van in and just like crash my driveway until we went back out. And then he moved into Kansas City, so he's living in Kansas City. But then I would either, depending on like which coast we were going to, I would either drive to him and then we'd meet up, or he would drive to me. And then he moved to Evansville, Indiana, for a little bit.
Yeah, I was trying to get to Nashville, but I couldn't afford to live in Nashville. So I was like, Evansville is midway between Nashville and Jake's house.
Yeah.
So
And
I
now
was
he's
there
in
for a little
Nashville,
bit.
so.
Yeah.
And now you got your famous tardation down in Tennessee.
Yeah.
And that is absolutely a round of applause. Absolutely doing phenomenal.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Oh, you have listened to it.
yeah, we were talking about it when you were on last time. You were discussing how you were going to start that, and to see the progress of that has been absolutely awesome. To see you guys grow like that.
Dude, it came together like perfect. Because when I was gonna start it, as like a one-on-one interview podcast, and I recorded like 4 of them, and it just didn't feel right. And then I met Sydney at that St. Paul show, and we just immediately hit it off. And I was like, oh, this is the podcast.
The
right?
best,
It's
the
like,
best laugh.
Yeah, and then like went back to Nashville, and my buddy Thomas is a comic that was already like living there and has done some video stuff and gone on the road with me before. So we reached out to him, and I was like, hey, let's use your podcast space. And he's like, okay, I'll produce it. And then grabbed another comic that I had met at Zany's like right before I met Sydney, Jimmy, and we all sat down in like Thomas's garage and basically recorded that first one. And that first one just felt so good. I was like, this is the podcast.
Yeah.
This is the thing. And we literally, the next day, everybody came over to my house and we built the studio in my spare bedroom.
It's a nice studio too. It looks really sweet.
Dude, it is smoke and mirrors.
I love it. I fucking love it.
No,
It's
it's
nice.
not, dude.
No, it's
I've done the
awesome.
show, and it's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dope.
When are you gonna get your what is it? Your nephew? You call him Cam?
Oh, dude, yes. The next time he comes to Nashville, I'm getting him on. I was going to have Jolly on at one point, but we couldn't make it. Like, our schedules didn't line up, so I'll have Jolly on at some point. Josh Wolf is supposed to come on next month.
Nice,
So,
nice.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah,
Love
dude. That's
Josh Wolf.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love the work that he's been doing because you were talking really highly of him and everything. We see he's coming in June over our area.
Go
way,
see.
so
Highly recommend Josh Wolf. He's
Yeah,
so fucking
so funny.
funny, dude. And he brings his son Jacob on the road with him now.
okay.
I've seen a lot of their stuff
dude,
together.
Yeah,
They're so fun together, dude.
Dude, that's
They're
goals.
so
Like,
fun.
I can't wait till Roman is on the road with me, dude.
I
And,
can't
like,
wait
all the
until Roman
stories.
is on the road.
Like, all the stories that I've been telling about Roman, and then we get to go on the road together. Like, that's got to be so cool for them to be able to do that.
dude, crazy just to build. Because Josh had been building his career for years, but then to see his son build it with him, and that's got to be quite the experience. With AJ, with you getting the podcast going, who's your dream guest if you could land anybody?
Oh, I would love to have Bert on. Like one
Bert?
day it's gonna happen. Like I'd love to have Bert on. Dude, I'm like moving to Nashville and stuff. I got to like meet and like become friends with Jelly Roll. I'd love to have Jelly Roll on the podcast.
That's
So
one of our
crazy.
top 10. We talk about this a lot.
Dude,
Our dream
he's
guests.
so much fun. Like he's just so much personality and just fucking.
Genuinely one of like the sweetest fucking human
Dude,
beings
yes,
on
he
this
literally
earth.
like radiates like warmth and kindness.
I love watching
amazing.
him doing the
Excellent
fitness
hugger.
stuff that he's doing now to try and do the marathon and
getting
everything,
ready.
the walking. Just
Yeah.
watching him do that shit, I was like, that's got to move so many people, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's awesome to see him. Like, I'm going in here, like the videos of him yelling at the camera, like, I'm going to this thing. I'm like, who would have
Let's
thought this
fucking go.
guy's
Yeah,
going to do
exactly.
that? Like
Dude,
he's
that's
just
what Kevin Smith did too. Kevin Smith started like hiking in like Runyon Canyon and shit in LA, and like that's how he started like his like weight loss journey and stuff after his heart attack.
it's gonna be really weird if Jelly Roll gets to be like skinny and
Yeah.
you're like, yo, this is weird. I don't like this guy. This guy's different
Dude,
now.
when he loses so much weight, like people start confusing him and Post Malone.
What's like the creative process like for you guys? Like I know like comedy, a lot of people think it's just like you stand up there and you're just the funny guy, but these jokes are obviously pretty calculated and a lot of time goes into that. Like, is it something that you're doing every single day, or do you have like a method that you like to use?
Not really. Like right now, it has been like get it in when you can kind of thing. Like because there's so much like travel, and so it's a lot of shit. Like we'll like spitball ideas at each other in the car sometimes, or we'll just be randomly goofing off, and one of us will say something, and the other person will go ooh, and then we're like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, like I'll just, for me, I usually I'm mostly just telling stories.
Yeah.
So for me, what I'll do is like if something funny happens, and usually like whoever's with me, you know, if it's AJ or my wife or whatever, they'll be like, write this down. Like
You always
as
gotta
we're
have that
in like a
person.
weird moment, like a weird thing's happening, it's like, yo, remember this, like write this down. So then I have like notes on my phone that are just quick little things like this story.
Yep.
And then I'll just go on stage and I'll tell that story like 4 or 5 times, different ways to like figure out how,
See
it,
how
works.
it works.
And then that's just a story that I just have that I can tell now.
That's awesome.
Do you feel like story, like the way you were raised and everything, is storytelling in a sense easier, like an easier lane for you to go through with that?
Yeah, 100%. Because the first comedian I ever really saw was my dad. So he's not a comedian,
Yeah.
but he was the funniest dude. Like still to this day, whenever I run it, like I just did a charity show in my hometown like 2 weeks ago, and this dude came up to me and he was like, "Are you Tim Rubel's boy?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Your dad was the funniest dude I've ever met." They're like, when I heard his son was a comedian, it made sense.
That's sick.
So I
Hell
would
yeah.
watch him, and what he would do is we would just be at a party, and then somebody like, "Timmy, tell that story," you know, or whatever.
Right.
And my dad would just tell stories, and then like everybody would be gathered around him. And just at a young age, I was like, "Oh, dude, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Like I like that. I want to be like that." And so, yeah.
How-
So it was just like,
how long have
that's
you been
what
doing
I did.
it?
I mean, we started the same time, so going on 5 years.
Going on 5 years.
So I've not been doing comedy that long.
Yeah.
But I was always the dude like my dad, like at a young age, whenever I was like 13 and started like going to parties and stuff, I'd just do it. Like I would just tell stories and make people laugh. So it was just, and I'm very much just me on stage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
that's-
So it's
Yeah.
just like, it's easy just to go up and tell a couple stories because I could just tell you guys and it feels no different to me.
right.
What made you make that jump? Because like you were in your 30s when you started comedy, right?
Yeah.
So like, what made you? I mean, what was the thing that made it? This is what I want to do full time.
So I was a Pentecostal preacher for 6 years.
Really?
That's
What?
Yeah.
I've heard
Yeah.
that. That's a curveball right there.
Yeah. So I was a Pentecostal preacher for 6 years. Like I was a drug addict, got out of drugs, got into church, got married, started having a family, and then realized like, oh, church, like religion's not for me. It was like I loved helping people, and you know I learned a lot in church and everything, and it really did help me like get off drugs and everything. But I was just like, I can't shake hands with religion anymore. There's too much stuff I don't dig. So I left, and it was the reason I left is because I was so depressed that I hated myself because I felt like I was a hypocrite. And I just, dude, it was very bad. I tried to unalive myself. My wife talked the gun out of my hand. I went inside, looked at myself in the mirror, and was like, if I hate this version of myself so much that I want him to die, I'm just going to let this version die. So I walked out of the church. I stopped all that stuff. And then like 3 months later, one of my homies texted me and said, hey, there's an open mic next Sunday at my friend's bar, and I signed you up for it.
Damn.
I'd
That's
never
sick.
thought about doing anything like that. It was just like, okay. So I went to the local comedy club because I'd never seen live comedy. I didn't know how it worked. So like I would, listen to albums and like see, specials, but I'd never been to a show. And I went and watched their open mic that Wednesday before, and then I messaged a dude on the open mic just to kind of like ask him some questions. And one of the things he said to me, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, was that just because you're funny at a party doesn't mean you're going to be funny on stage, which is 100% true. Yeah. But I almost took that as a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So then it's just like, I want you to feel like when I get off stage, I want you to feel like we just hung out.
Mm.
When people be like, oh, that's my friend Jake.
Yeah.
Like, that's just kind of the vibe that I want to
I
put
got
out.
that vibe too at the show earlier.
Dope.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm definitely trying to do.
I was high as fuck too, so it really spoke to me.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I was able to relate
after the show.
heavily.
That really touched me. What you said. What did I say?
Everything. Yeah. No, so I did it for 6 months. Like the moment that I started like talking to the mic and I got that first laugh, I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. Mm-hmm. So I did it for 6 months, and then my wife graduated college, got a good job, and was like, quit your job and do comedy.
Shout out,
fucking
dude.
crazy.
Shout out the wife.
Yeah, dude.
Dude,
So
that's such like a stars aligning, divine intervention. All the timing just happened, bang, bang. Like,
Yeah.
at the
Like, it was
perfect
meant
times,
to
and it
be.
just-
well,
Yeah.
you would think. That was
Don't worry.
October 2019.
Ah, shit.
So I went full time
Damn.
October 2019. A couple
Damn.
months later, they're like, by the way, we're all dead. Like, we can't do. So everything shut down. I was home. Like, I didn't leave my house at all. Like, because my wife was a nurse, so she was still going to work. Me and the kids stayed home, didn't leave at all for like 5 weeks. Just, I did not leave the house. It was the best time of my life. I swear, dude. Like, I feel for everybody that like everything that they had to go through, but dude, just where I was in my life, to have that time to disconnect from society, and I live on 11 acres out in the country. Dude, I had a garden. I could go out every day, just do whatever I wanted. Didn't have to worry about anything. My kids were just like fending for themselves like little feral beasts. Dude, it was amazing.
That sounds like the dream, dude. I've said forever, if I ever won the lottery, I would disappear and no one would ever see me again. I'd be at a cabin in the woods.
They wouldn't see for like 5 weeks. And then after 5 weeks, they're like, I could get out of here. That's kind of what happened to
Same.
me.
I want to come out of my hole, go do comedy shows, and then disappear into like a hole in the mountain again, and then be like, "We'll see him again in the spring."
Yeah.
No, you guys, just from like the 5 minutes from when I walked up here first, you guys were killing it. You vibe off each other so well, and you riff off. Have you ever thought of like doing duo performances?
Oh, we do.
You do?
Yeah. We have a 2-man show we call Shake and Jake.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry that.
Damn it, bro.
That's so funny.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, we're actually,
I'm Jake. I'm Jake.
Yeah, we're doing it in April in Nashville as part of the Nashville Comedy Festival this year.
I'm so sorry.
Dude, you guys in names are phenomenal.
Dude, CEOs of naming things, dude. They just create a government job for us. We'll name everything. Dude.
Well, like I said, I grew up, my dad was a biker, so I grew up, everybody had nicknames.
Yeah.
And I kind of hate the fact that we don't have that anymore. The closest thing we have to is like screen names. You know what I mean? Like if you know somebody has like their screen name, then you kind of just will call them that. Okay. But like no one has nicknames anymore. It kind of sucks, dude.
Got Fairy Tale back there. You think that's his name? Fairy Tale?
Yeah.
His name's Fairy Tale, dude.
Yeah, but dude, look at his eyes. Dude.
Look at his eyes, dude. His name might actually be Fairy Tale.
Yeah, I think it is. I'm saying, dude.
He do look a little like Donkey from Shrek.
Respectfully, you gotta say respectfully. If you say respectfully, you can say anything.
Like, you done seen a pig fly. You done seen a dragonfly, but you ain't never seen a donkey fly.
I'm assuming, like, especially earlier in like the smaller clubs and the smaller crowds, the fan interactions have got to be fucking crazy while you're on stage. Like, what's the craziest fan interaction you guys have ever ran into, and what's your favorite way of like dealing with it? Like, you just like get after
It
them,
didn't
or
even
is
happen to us, but that lady tonight was pretty.
No,
that was crazy.
I know mine, dude.
Oh yeah, I know yours.
Yeah, you do.
I know yours.
All right, so I was in Louisville, Kentucky, and I have this bit that I'll do sometimes where, and I kind of did it tonight, where like I'll talk to somebody about like who's somebody who has like a bunch of kids. I'll be like, how old are your kids and stuff, and then I'll be like, which one's your favorite? And I asked, there was this lady in the front row whenever I was asking who has kids and stuff. And she was like, yeah, me. And I was like, oh, cool. It's like, so what's the ages of your kids? She's like, 18, 16, and the other one's dead.
Jesus.
And I was like, oh, okay. So that one's not your favorite?
That was definitely the favorite.
Yeah. I didn't know what to say, dude. I was just like, dude, because I didn't actually say that. I just thought it.
Oh, shit.
So she said that, dude, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear that. And the table in the very back of the room, like whenever she said, because the whole club, obviously, as soon as she says it, it's just whoa, like all the air gets sucked out of the room. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear that. And this table in the very back just starts laughing so hard. And it's pretty well known that at comedy clubs, usually the comedians sit at the very back. So there was probably local comedians that were there that were sitting back there that knew what I was going through in that moment, dude, and they lost it. They started laughing.
So good.
So I told that lady I didn't know what to do, and I had to move on with the show. So I was just like, "Hey, yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that." I was like, maybe like in the future though, if like a comedian asks you that, fucking lie. Like, what, dude?
You kind of have to expect like the comedians to maybe interact with you. Like if you're taking the jump of sitting in the front row to then answer like with a crazy answer like that, like what are you thinking? It's just a crazy thing to do.
I mean, but also like if we ask questions, we're also setting ourselves up because there's that where it's like just brutally honest. Oh shit! I wish I would have asked that question.
Yeah.
But then you also have people sometimes where somebody would say something like, "What's your name, dude?" And he'll just be like, "Jeff." And then like his whole table starts laughing. It's like, all right, dude, that's not your name. Like, why are you being, so then it's like a weird thing. So, and I don't know. A lot of comics don't like crowd work.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, from the fan perspective, like, if you're gonna sit in the front row, why be a fucking weirdo? Why? I mean, why tell you that she has a dead kid?
I mean, my thing is, dude, I asked. You know what I mean? Like, I asked, what are their ages? You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think there's probably a different way she could have said it. I mean, she was like 17, 16, and dead. So that was
She
like...
could have stopped at 16.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I get it. But at the same time, I asked. So. And now we got, a fun story.
I had a lady try to like bum rush the stage on me in Orlando a long time ago.
What the fuck?
I was hosting an open mic, and I was doing autism jokes, but she was like in the middle of like a Tinder date at the bar, so she was like talking to her date like the first couple of minutes of my set. So she came back to pay attention right as I said like one thing, and she's like, "You can't say that," and I was like, "Did you miss everything else I just said?" I'm the only one of us that can say it, and she like freaked out. It was insane. And like I started like roasting her, and it was killing, and she just couldn't handle it. Like the people that were like, "I want attention," and they were like, "No, I no longer want attention."
I think we witnessed that today with Travis's step.
Can we talk about it, dude?
He's a character, man. He's a decent dude for sure, man. He's good, but God bless America.
Real curious about hand jobs.
Yeah,
I don't think he wanted one.
Should we tell the story for the audio, like people listening?
Yeah, for the people listening, AJ gets on stage for like 5 fucking minutes, and I don't even know what the context necessarily was beforehand, or if there even was context.
There wasn't. There was no context.
I didn't think there was anything at all. I was sitting in the back, and I was like, where the fuck did that come from? So he just randomly blurts out, he's like, what did he say? Something like,
I bet you give one hell of a hand job.
I bet that's what he yelled in a sold out crowd at fucking Moonshine Comedy Club is, I bet you give a good hand job. Why are you thinking about this man giving you a hand job right now, dog?
You handled it perfect.
Yeah.
It was a great response.
I said back, they start at $200.
Well, it was like tonight, like genuinely, like also thank you guys very much for coming and doing the show. You guys absolutely murdered.
Yeah,
Don't tell Chris Harvey, that was one of the best shows that we've had.
Oh, we're telling Chris.
Oh yeah. Boy, now that we're recording, you say one of. Earlier you said the best.
I tell you what, you guys.
Now that we're on the record.
Look at Nick. Nick's like, oh,
now that
shit.
we're on the record.
Yeah, no, that everybody absolutely murdered it. It was great.
And we have a cheat sometimes too, to where if we show up and it's like, let's say the booker has been telling us, ticket sales are going great, everything's looking good, and then we'll drive like 12 hours to go do a show, and we'll get there and there's like 30 people in the audience or something, and they just don't look happy. We'll be like, yo, we're doing Shake and Jake tonight. So we go on stage together and just make each other laugh.
Yeah,
That's
you
awesome.
can just have fun no matter what.
Yeah, and then it's always worked. Like they always have a good time whenever we do that. But in those moments, like we just use a cheat, and it's just like, let's just do this together.
Yeah, I'm really glad too. We had a phone call. We were telling about like some of the horror stories and such that's been going on. Like that can happen like that.
Yeah.
And our communication beforehand. Like I appreciate you talking to me like that because I felt terrible because of what was going on with our show and situation like that.
Yeah.
But then I realized that people really do that, and I was like, golly, you have these
Yeah.
people traveling all this time just to go there for 10 heads, and they're like just drinking beer or wine. They're not even there for the show.
Dude,
But I don't mean to interrupt.
no,
I will
go
say this though. Depending on like where you are in comedy, like there was times that, dude, like we would kill for that. Like are you kidding me? Yeah, we'll come do that show. Are you like 100%? We'll come do that.
Right.
So, and dude, some of the best times I've ever had on stage has been in a room with like 4 people. Like we had at the time of our life one time doing a show for 4 people.
No shit.
And and like a weird attic. Like it was like, dude, it was weird.
One of the best shows I ever had, like early on solo, was in Orlando at a tin roof, like the live music places.
Okay.
They had like that small, like the side room.
Yeah.
Where they would do comedy shows on Tuesday nights in like the Icon Park where like the Ferris wheel and shit is in downtown Orlando. And we did a show in there one night. There was like 3 tables in a room that holds like fucking 250. 3 tables. It was like 9 people total. And it was one of the best shows I ever had. Because those 9 people that showed up, they were like, no, we are here to hear jokes. Tell the jokes.
And all 9 were just laughing the whole
Laughing
time.
the whole fucking time.
That's
Dude,
That's
laughing,
sweet.
like
It's
you
gotta
would
be
bring
good.
something up and they would be like, oh, and like point at somebody, and then it's like not, instead of yelling shit out, they just be like, oh, and so you get, it's like almost like your choice. But like, do I want to go in and talk about this, or do I go ahead and tell the next joke? And like, you know,
those
shit
9
like
were
that.
the
Like,
perfect 9.
Yeah, the perfect 9.
That's
dude.
awesome. That's so good. I was one thing that's putting on shows is get really scared sometimes when tickets aren't like maybe not doing great and we're like, oh fuck, like knowing that now is awesome to know, because like if it is a lower ticket like the one we just had with John Armstrong, he fucking killed it. But we only had, I think we had close to 50 tickets there, which is the lowest one yet. And I'm like, oh no, this is low. I think these guys are going to be mad. But now hearing this, I'm like, okay, maybe this is a benefit. This is something that could really work on them. It could be the best show ever.
So the number is important, but it's the number compared to the size of the room that's important, right? Like 30 people in a room that holds 35 people feels amazing.
Yeah.
30 people in a room that holds 200 people sucks dicks.
Yeah, that
You know
makes
what I
sense.
mean?
Yeah.
So it's like one of those kinds of things. It's like if you can get the room and the energy to match, like the room that you guys have tonight, like that long narrow room. If you have 35 people in that room, you like it can feel the same as if you had 70 people in that room.
Yeah.
Because they're all right here in front of you.
Yeah.
Like there's not somebody laughing from like a back corner, and so it's like it's traveling so far it's throwing off the laughs of everybody else in the room.
Gotcha. Yeah. We actually, me and Cody Ray were working on the tables, and we were really trying to get the best form of a comedy show seating wise, so that everybody's together. And we were talking to Che Dorena, and we interviewed him, and he was just discussing like the structure of a comedy club, how you should sit so then it can travel, and the math behind it, and the thought out strategy of it's just unreal how hard it can be.
Yeah.
So little things like that go a long way for us. So thank you guys for that.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's like underappreciated, but like as an art, it's like any other art form. Like acoustics matter.
Mm-hmm.
Like a room like that where everybody's tight in together in front of you, all the laughter's traveling straight at you. Versus in a room where it's like bouncing around. If somebody's like in an oval or something, if they're laughing here, it's going across the front of you, and it's not actually getting to you.
Yeah.
So sometimes those, like a full room that's in a half circle doesn't feel as good, depending on if like the ceiling's done right and shit. Dude, the Tampa Improv it's like in like downtown like Ybor City, and it's in like the historic part of the town. Like this building, it's like 3 stories. It used to be an old like stage play theater.
Okay.
So it's an amazing room, amazing stage, but it sucks for comedy because it's 3 stories up. The ceiling is 3 floors up. So all the laughter coming off of the balconies and from underneath just comes out and just floats up to the ceiling and never makes it to you.
Oh, Lord.
And that's the first club I ever did featuring for Jay after he started bringing me on the road with him.
Hell yeah.
And for a half hour in the Tampa Improv, I just stood there thinking I was bombing. And then at the very end, everybody stood up. And I was like, oh, thank God, I'm not fired.
It's like, oh, should they actually like me? I didn't hear this for 30 minutes. What the fuck?
Yeah, it just felt like a half hour of just yelling into a void.
Yeah, and real quick, I wanted to throw this out there. Next weekend, they have some super, super sweet shit going on with Jay going on the boat.
Oh, yeah,
on the
next
cruise.
week we're doing the Jay and Silent Bob cruise
yeah, you were
rescue,
telling
going
us
to the
about that.
Bahamas.
That's crazy. We were gonna try and book them next weekend for the comedy show, and you're like, oh shit, actually we got that going. I was like, what a life! You guys are just casually just doing that. How did you guys get into ties with him?
When I was living in the van, I won a contest to open for Jay at the Comedy Club of Kansas City, and just crushed it. It was one of those nights, everything was working, and Jay was trying to take a nap in the green room and couldn't. Like he was hearing the crowd through the green room, so he's like, "What's going on out there?" And his road manager, our buddy Matt, who's Jake's manager now, and helped me produce my special. He was with Jay, and he came back in the green room. He was like, "Dude, you have to come out there and see this."
Right.
And Jay's like, "No, I can hear it." And he's like, No, you gotta see it. There is a visual element to the thing happening right now. And yeah, Jay stuck his head out of the green room, watched the rest of my set, and then when I came off stage, he was like, "Dude, can you get on planes and shit? Because I want you to come on the road."
Dude, when we were in the car ride back here, I said we should get a wig for you, and you guys would look like Jay and Silent Bob.
We look like they
Okay.
went into we look like they went into a body swap machine and just came out halfway done.
This might be the dumbest question you've ever been asked.
Dude, before you finish this, you have such a good interviewer way of asking us questions. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it is so professional.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You ask NPR ass
I'm
questions.
just I just walking. I'm trying to get.
You're
him in at the
crushing
best
it, dude.
moment.
It is
Thank you.
amazing. I don't know if you guys have ever seen The Doors with Jim Morrison, but it's that scene where they're interviewing him. And you could be in that scene, dude. You're crushing it, and I've never been more proud of you.
Thank you.
Let's watch these cheeks get super red right now.
Dude, no, this is my moment, man.
Yeah, you're doing it, man.
I would clap his cheeks though. What?
He brings it up
Appreciate that,
perfectly too. Every time he does it, he's like,
That's what I'm saying, dude. Everything about it, dude.
Back to my stupid question.
Yes, Jimmy Olsen.
I just need to know, when you guys are looking over the crowd, are you making eye contact with direct people, or is it just a glaze over?
I think I make eye contact with Aiden.
It's hit or miss with me. I mean, sometimes I do make eye contact with people, but it just kind of depends.
No, same. I will make eye contact with people, but if I do, it's a calculated choice, and I'm gonna make hard eye contact with one person.
Did you do it to me today?
I think I did.
Yeah, because I feel like I remember staring so deeply into your eyes, and I looked away because it was this feels crazy.
I looked at you.
I thought you thought that I was doing it to you.
I
You were
did
like,
it
"Is
to
this
you, and I
happening?"
did it to the one black guy in the very front.
The one right in front of me. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's my buddy. He was so stoked about the show. He was like, he did so good. He did so good. I was like, what did he do up there to you? What? It was a great show, but you're way too happy right now. You just locked eyes with him, and you.
Yeah, dude. AJ to be doing that.
We shared our words and a stare, dude.
I was nervous because I thought that you thought that I was doing that to you, and you were making it extra hard to get me
You're
to
gonna
quit.
win this one.
Oh no! I thought you were trying to make me quit, so I kept looking away fuck.
Established dominance. No, it goes back to kind of the joke I was saying tonight, with the face charts, in masking. It's the same thing with eye contact. It's how much if I make eye contact, it's okay, and a 1 and a 2 and a 3. Okay, if I any longer, and it's weird, right? No, we've locked eyes. Now I can't stop. What do we do?
I don't even think I looked at the crowd when I went on stage. I was up there for 6 minutes. I just paced back and forth. I get very nervous when I just start pacing. I don't even think I looked at the crowd.
Yeah, you had a lot going on right before this show too. The guys were like 2 minutes late, and it was like for some reason stressing everybody out. And then they come walking up as I was introducing him because we learned to like have him actually have a part. I'll just be like a stupid little small host and then bring him up so he's a comedian. And so I'm in the middle of doing that, and the comedians come walking up, and he's just all over the place waiting for anybody else to be back there with him.
Just like going
He's
solo.
like, I'm the only fucking person here. I can't do more than this.
Cody Ray's locked in.
We're just in the
I was
back.
trying
I'm like,
to-
No, stretch it out.
You got a question, sir?
No, that was it. I was just
Cool,
trying to
dude.
share my
This is-
experience
this
a
is
little bit.
statement,
My
bro.
little
Hell yeah.
little thing, yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hitting him with the hard
I'm
ones,
rocking it.
Cody.
Yeah, I know.
I kind of
I'm
want
on
to
my
watch
game
Sam just
today.
ask questions. I just want to watch this professionalism just
Dude,
go
I
right
hope
up
he keeps
there.
asking questions because
I
I'm
know,
on
dude.
too.
Yeah, I do
You're
have
all
another
doing
one.
great too, but I'm just sitting over like
It's that
looking
corner
at him.
look.
Yeah, I'm just
Somebody's
watching him,
done a
like,
post
do it.
game presser before, dude.
Yeah, dude, 100%, man. You look like you're about to read us a school announcements, bro. Like I'm so into it.
That was the dream job. I never
Dude, I'm telling you, dude. Student council and everything, bro.
Dude,
Like,
if you never made the cut, that's because somebody wasn't doing their job well enough.
They were hating.
Has there been any more crazy ass laughs that you've come across? Because I know that was such a pinnacle moment where that video went stupid viral off of that frog laugh that you had or
So
whatever
many.
it was.
So many fun laughs, dude. There was a lady that came tonight that I didn't get her to hit the right notes, but she came to a show we did in Fort Wayne a couple years ago, and I have like 4 clips of her laugh from that show.
Was she sitting in like the front left of the
Uh-huh.
room? Yeah.
Yeah, she has this like coyote violin laugh that I roasted. I've like there's a video where I said she has a Charlie Daniels laugh because like I got her going really hard to where she was like laughing, catching her breath, and like the third time she did it, I just busted out into song and I was like, the devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for and the place lost
It was so
their fucking
funny.
mind.
Dude, it was so
Lost their
funny, man.
fucking mind.
Oh,
Oh, and then there was the lady in Chattanooga with Tourette's that had a crazy laugh as well. She's the squirrel bones, like something like
yeah.
fucking like literally like you know that like when they say like West Virginia or like down in the holler, that's a holler. That her laugh is a holler, like a legit like like holler. I can't even do it. I can't hit those notes, dude.
Is there anything that gets you when you're on stage where like, because clearly the laughs just spark him and then he goes flying for a second? Is there anything that happens on stage where you're like, oh, wait a minute. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
I mean, usually it's just responses that people give me. Like, again, just because of the way that I do like storytelling and it's kind of like laid back, it does open up a lot of times for people to feel like it's conversational a little bit more, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Which I'm fine with. I mean, it sucks sometimes as a host because I try not to do like crowd work and stuff.
Like,
But
Matt all
if
night
it's
tonight.
like, yeah, well, it wasn't his fault. But like, if it's my show, like if I'm headlining the show, yeah, I mean, I love asking like weird questions and stuff from people just to see, you know, just more than just like, what do you do for work and stuff like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just to see like what kind of like weird responses.
What question would you ask?
Man, I don't know. It just kind of depends on the moment. Like whatever I'm talking about on stage, like in that moment. Like I ask a lot about, like I'll ask about, sometimes I'll ask people like, what's the worst thing you've ever done as a parent?
Okay, yeah.
And some people are honest. But, you know, I'll ask questions like that. Or I like asking people like a time that they were too high. And sometimes you'll get like just real fun responses to that. And then other times you won't. And you have to shut it down. Because it's like you could tell going into it like, oh, this story sucks.
Yeah.
And you just have to call it out and just be like, oh, I thought that was going to be like a good story, so I'm going to move on.
That's so good when that happens, too. They're like, oh, what the fuck just happened to me?
It's just about being in the moment. Just like everybody else feels it. Like that's like tonight I said a couple of like weird things I've never said on stage that felt weird when I said it, and the crowd let me know it was weird. And if I would have just kept going, it would have been fine. But I like to call those moments out and just be like, oh, yeah, I felt that too, guys. Like, I get it. Like, that's, I don't know why. Oh, I do know why. I'm high. Like, that's why I said that.
That is one of my favorite things is like purposefully making the room uncomfortable. because I know where.
Yeah,
it's
but I
going
don't do it on
next.
purpose.
I mean, I don't always do it on
Yeah.
purpose. Sometimes it just happens. I'm like, my bad. But no, like the deaf kid joke.
Oh, that was a banger.
That's great.
Unbelievable.
That's so good.
Like that, just like seeing everybody's like reactions to that is
Makes you feel
Yeah.
some sort of different.
yeah, dude. Because then like when it like circles back around and it reaches the point where everyone's like, oh fucking, he's right. You know? Like then it's like, ha. Gotcha.
I just want to touch for like you were talking about if someone has a shitty story and you just like throw it back in their face, like shut the fuck up, that sucks. It's how, like,
I mean, I try to do it. In
no,
a nice
I
way,
know, but
yeah.
like it's such a funny like spin of emotions. Like, oh, I finally get my moment, and then you're like, actually, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I'm
I mean,
just
it's just
kidding.
if you just say it like in the right way, it kind of gets a laugh, and then it also like
Yeah.
you weren't a dick to them.
Yeah.
If you're just like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought that was gonna be like a cool story. We're gonna like,
Do you ever focus on roasting?
not really. I mean, we'll do it like every now and then. I'll get in like a weird mood, but I'm not that guy at all. To where if I do it and start roasting someone, like AJ would be like, "What's Mean Jake doing here?" You know, because I don't do that. And
It's alter ego.
yeah, but we've
Like,
made
Jake
jokes.
went to the dark place.
But I like the idea of like roast and stuff. So we've came up with this idea that we want to do where we want to do toast battles. So where it's like basically like we're talking about like what a great dude he is.
Yeah,
Fuck
it's
yeah.
like I
Jokes.
compliment you by insulting myself. Kind
Yeah,
of thing.
like
Like I'm
that's
not
so
roasting
funny.
my friend. I'm like making the joke at my expense.
Can we get like an example? Like, I guess I kind of get the
Tell
concept.
tell the dad one.
Yeah. So my like example when I give a lot is like Jake is such a good dad. Sometimes I want to like just have a bastard child because I know he would raise it.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, stuff
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
sweet.
That's one thing about your set, AJ. You do such a good job of explaining autism that I was sitting there being like, holy shit, I think I have autism. There was a lot of things lining up, man, where I'm like, oh my God.
Hey,
That's my whole move, dude. Is I drag
Does he?
everybody down and then beat them with the autism.
does he though?
I think he's got it.
Okay.
The fact that he's in full professional interview mode, dude. This is
I was-
full like
yeah.
unscripted with Sam Jones, and
Yeah, dude, I feel like I'm in the actor studio right now, and you're just like, when you were in the film, what emotions went through your mind at that time?
it's like Jake, you're a bit of a storyteller. How's your experiences in your childhood impact your psyche when it comes to storytelling? And you're like, okay, with your NPR ass question.
Okay, but also, dude, but also, that was good, dude. Like I forgot it was you. I was like, oh, I have to think about this question. I got nervous, dude.
Yeah, I think Cody Ray and I are literally polar opposites right now. I'm coming in with the official ones, and he's sitting there with the...
Dude, you're
Yeah,
doing it now.
nothing.
You're doing it now.
Literally at the moment. Yeah.
You're just roasting him on the live broadcast.
I love it so much,
I
though,
got so
dude.
high, I got official. I don't even know what
Dude, it's so dope.
You're the
Like, don't ever
play-by-play-
change.
You're the play-by-play guy calling out the color commentator.
It's so amazing, dude.
It's like, that's a great story, John, but it is 4th and 1 right now, and
Yeah, yeah. He's the dude just gotta bring it back. Like, okay. You're crushing it, dude. I'm so proud of you.
big shirt, brother.
Thanks, shirt brother. You gotta help me, shirt brother. Oh man, it's for fun.
And I said, oh.
Can I say this too? Can I say this?
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
still pretty high, so I'm enjoying this. This is probably like the dopest way I've ever done a podcast.
Fuck yeah.
Because every time I do podcasts, it's usually like we just always sit and we hang out and everything, and it's great, and I love it, and I always have a good time. But the way that there's like 3.5 hosts right now that are like you guys are like interviewing us, and it's dope, right? I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, and then we have
Yeah.
like a live studio audience. In the
I know,
background.
dude. It's
We have an
like-
actual peanut gallery, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I've been watching you the whole time when you're talking. You're only looking at them too. You just keep
There's
looking.
cameras
Yeah.
over
You just
there.
keep looking
Fucking
straight
know the
ahead.
sweet spots.
He's just talking to Tyler
Look
the
at
whole
that!
time.
Look at that! Camera angle, right down the barrel, motherfuckers!
It'll catch.
I'm just looking around, dude.
Just having a nice time.
Yeah. Well, a weird thing happened. So my son's 11, and the other day we were we were watching. I think we were watching the Royal Rumble or something the other night.
Yeah, that just happened. Yeah.
And no, we were watching. My bad. We were watching the Super Bowl. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Basically the same
But
thing.
he said
Same
something about,
writers.
he's like, who's going to win? And I was like, the Chiefs are probably going to win. And he's like, I thought we wanted the 49ers to win. I was like, well, the Steelers aren't playing, so we don't care. You know? I was like, we don't care. Which we don't, like, watch sports in our family hardly at all.
Gotcha.
But we were like, all right, we'll just root for these dudes, but these dudes are probably going to win. So then he starts asking these questions like, is this real? Is it scripted? And like, and for me, and like, I'm like, it's, boy, let's have a talk. I'm like, listen what the government's doing, right? So like, I start telling him like, yeah, like it could be scripted. I don't know. I was like, it's hard to say, and like, you know, there's a like. So then we just like started getting into it, and I said something like, I was like, yeah, I mean, it's not like, I was like, I don't think it's like wrestling, you know, like with the script. And he was just like, yeah, what? And I was like, I just looked at him and like, I
just
never
ruined Santa for
Yeah,
him.
that's,
Well,
I was
that's
just
the
gonna
thing.
say that's like ruining Santa
Dude,
for a kid.
what
That's
I
just
said on stage
heartbreaking.
tonight, I do not lie to my kids.
Uh-huh.
I really don't. Like, we never told them there was a Santa Claus. You know, like we just like if they wanted to believe in Santa, they believed in Santa. But if, like we never pushed it or anything like that. We just never did that. And we did that because
Dad
we never.
has a seasonal job.
Yeah. I gotta go. But it's like I never wanted to like see that look on their face when they find out like it's not real.
Yeah.
And then I accidentally had that with WWE. To where I was just like, yeah, I mean it's not like scripted like wrestling is. And he was just like, wait, what? And I was like, I'm the worst dad ever. So then I just got high.
Do you guys remember when Santa got ruined for you as a kid?
Yeah.
I feel like
100%.
everyone remembers that like exact moment.
No,
that
I was
it
being too
happened,
fucking
really.
nosy.
Mine happened
and I
on
fucked up.
Christmas Day. On Christmas Day, we were fucking opening presents at Grandma's house, and I opened something, and it was either my dad or my uncle turned and looked at my grandma and said, "Oh, where'd you get that?" I'm like, "Bro, this is from Santa."
That's
dude.
hilarious.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Everything
just-
just starts clicking.
Yeah, it all came together right at that moment.
Yeah.
I saw my parents wrapping my presents in Santa's wrapper paper and writing on it and shit. And I was like, okay, they're doing their presents. And I went downstairs the next morning and I saw all those fucking presents had like, they did like the straight line Santa stuff on it. So it wasn't their handwriting. And I'm like, you motherfuckers. And I'm like, I'm opening it, just staring at them. And they're like, something's off this Christmas. And I'm like, I'm looking at my brother and I was like, I'll never break it for you. But God damn it, this hurts.
Yeah.
They used to do like the snow, like the sled tracks and like rip up fucking carrots. Just like really wanted to make it something. And that's how I got it ruined for me. They're like, oh no, this is fucked up. So then they had to keep it on for my brother. And I'm just sitting there staring at him like every Christmas. I'm like, I'll never forgive you. Even though I did it to myself.
I don't know. Like I don't remember exactly. I could probably tell you what it was probably like. It was probably Christmas morning and I woke up and we had no presents and my dad said spend the presents on beer money and there's no Santa, you're not getting shit. Like that's probably what happened. But, and I just I'm not in
I was gonna
therapy
say
yet,
you're probably
so.
just too busy waiting for a
back.
knife to get pulled on you to even think about Santa.
I'm on a
Christmas,
waiting
dude.
list for therapy, so I'll tell you in like a year. We pull that out.
I've been meaning to tell you, Santa has a gambling problem. He lost the presents on the ponies.
I lost my job. Santa's not real. You ain't getting nothing, bud.
That's fucking great.
What about you?
I found out because of the foster care system.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because the foster system was like, basically she basically showed up and was like, hey, so you know how Santa's not real? Like, we got these presents donated, and I was just like behind the doorway, and I was like, wait, what? Yeah. The lady just showed up and she's like, so Santa's not real, but these people like donated presents that we're handing out to for foster kids and stuff. And I was just like, what'd she say?
Yeah.
It's a heart rate, dude.
Yeah, it was like
But
a
then
hard.
I got to like
Yeah,
help
16
play
was a
Santa
hard
for
year
the
for
other
him.
kids. Yeah, dude. College was difficult.
Yeah, college was hard. I couldn't go back that semester.
Yeah, dude. I had to switch to online.
Yeah.
So when are you guys gonna get together and actually do a podcast? Because the chemistry, like we brought up beforehand,
This is my fault. This is my fault. He's been trying to do a podcast with him for so long. I have such a weird brain. Like, so I've been fine this whole weekend. Like I've been gone. I've been fine this whole weekend. But I know I'm going home tomorrow. So all day today, I've just been texting my wife. And I've been texting my kids. And it's just like, I can't wait to get home and just like have time at home. And the problem is that we work so much. Like we're on the road so much that whenever we do get back home and then it's like, yo, let's do this podcast. I'm so pumped for it and I want to do it. And then I just can't pull myself away from my family to like go do it.
Yeah.
But we've discussed there is a podcast idea that we had that we wanted to do that we were going to call Good Morning, Good Night, or Good Night, Good Morning, to where after a show, like we basically just set up a camera in the hotel and just like lay down in bed and just giggle like girls, because like we do that every night.
Literally,
We'll just lay in bed and just like tell each other like jokes and stories and just giggle and just pass a vape back and forth.
Like Step Brothers, dude. You guys
Yeah, dude, 100%.
Like, okay, so like some hotels, like where you can like log into Netflix and like watch it, like we'll put on TV, we'll eat our food, and we'll just fucking like talk, chill, watch TV or whatever. And then in hotels where it's like just cable, we'll just find something on cable and roast the fuck out.
It's usually the ID channel.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
That's so good.
We're not like good people. Like we'll watch the ID channel and just like make jokes about like what a cool dude that guy is.
We're kind of trash.
dark humor.
Should we say this because it's recorded?
The spaghetti one?
Yeah, and it's being recorded.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
being
So
recorded.
this one time-
I'm a good dude.
Yeah. So this one time we're watching one of those ID things, and it was like the I didn't know I married a monster kind of thing,
Yeah,
right?
married
And-
to evil or something, like married to pure evil.
So this lady is talking about her like ex-husband and shit, and she's talking about like when things started going bad and like things kept getting worse, and she's like she gets to this one story, and she's like at one point he came home from work and there was still spaghetti on the stove like from the night before. And he just like flew off the handle and he grabbed me by the hair and dragged me into the kitchen and forced me down on my knees and then hand fed me just forced handfuls of old spaghetti in my mouth.
So it's like, so it's
and it has
super
gone
quiet.
dead quiet. Do you know what I mean? Because this one that's like
And it's like,
awkward
it's
for
so
real life.
awkward. And the music's playing in the background. There's a hardcore reenactment of it. Like
And
it's
like
such
that
a somber.
like dark piano.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
And then I just go, it's real quiet. And I just go, what a Mac.
Return of the Mac.
Oh, man.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
It's not funny, though. It was.
It's not funny. It still laughs.
Oh.
I don't think it's funny. I think it's just like in awkward situations like that, like you have to try to just like pop the pressure. You know what I mean? Like it's such a weird, like we did not mean to do that. Like we did not mean to do that to ourselves, to like watch that scene and it be that like heartbreaking and like horrible. And it's just like one of the worst humans on earth on the TV right now. Yeah. And then just to be like, that dude's a G. It's
So,
Someone's got to break the silence.
Yeah,
It's just like,
yeah.
yeah. I get
and then
what
that
you're saying.
laugh after is just
It's
so
the best laugh.
goddamn gut wrenching. You know it's fucked up, and you get the okay that it's laughing, and you just go at
I
it.
believe we also said that night we will never tell anyone that this happened.
Yay.
All right, look at here. Look what we got out. Fuck yeah, dude. Well, hey, appreciate you guys coming to the pod, seriously,
When
and
are we
coming and
starting
doing the
it?
show. What?
When we starting the podcast.
When are we starting it? I mean, we can start right now if you want. I mean,
so I was
you've
official
been
for nothing.
yeah, no, you've been practicing
Fucking
really well.
wasted that?
Now it's time to just get loose, dude. Just ask it with the mic upside down. Just be like, "Hey, yo." Start it off with that.
Yeah, dude. Hold it like you're robbing a liquor store with it.
Do it again. Oh no, he did it! It's the lip for me, dude. It's the lip for me, dude. That's what it is. Oh my god. Oh man.
Dude, I was real quick question. If we're gonna close this thing out.
You keep going as long as you want. I'm having a good time.
No, I was just saying, if we're gonna close it, I want to close it by heart, like all of us singing Creed together.
Nah.
It's just need
You
to
can't
happen.
force
dude.
it.
You can't
You
force
can't
it.
force
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's like a slow clap.
Yeah, dude.
It's
It'll
gotta
happen.
happen.
when it
Everybody's
happens.
just gonna
Just
sit
happen when
there
it
and wait
happens.
for it. Yeah, no.
No, I'll shut the fuck up. Actually,
It's all right, dude. You take notes.
I'll work on it. I'll work on it.
He's the new guy. so-
Yeah, you're crushing it.
Well, anyway, it's time to get official, boys. For
All
the
right, we're
on
starting
tap.
the podcast over, dude.
So we're
Hello,
starting it
my
now?
friend.
Record.
We'll meet again.
We're starting again. We're starting right now.
No. We've
Ask
been
me.
doing it.
Will you just keep asking me questions though? Because I like it.
Yeah, I do have a question I had locked in the chamber for you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make it
he's so fucking professional. The way he just worded that. I do have.
He
a
like
question
went
I'd
into
love.
agree, like
Yeah,
right
dude.
back in.
Dude, I was on the radio, dude.
There's
That's where I
always
got my
money in the
reps.
banana stand.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, there's always money in the banana stand.
All right. Time to get serious, boys. We talked about you guys on the road together, talked about being wrestle buddies, but we never talked about
Wrestling friends.
wrestling friends.
friends.
Sorry, that
Yeah, it's all right.
respectful.
Trademarked.
Respectfully.
We never actually talked about how you guys met and how early into your comedy careers you guys met, and I was just curious to hear that story.
This guy's got it, dude.
That's what I'm saying.
Phenomenal.
You're doing good too.
Thank you.
What about Cody Ray?
Just leave me out of it. They cut me out most of the time, so
I
I'm just
love
like,
it. I love your
I'm just
vibe.
here. I'm enjoying the show. Yeah.
I love your vibe, dog.
He just keeps staring at you like, man, like you really kind of do look like me. You guys should have switched clothes. I'm telling you, that would have been the
You
best
look
show.
like Jake
good.
if he'd never quit the church.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you look like me if I just cared a little more. Not like much. Not a lot.
Slightly.
Do you want to go into? That's a great fucking question, dude.
It is a very good question. Thank you, Congressman, for that question. So we met online, Tinder. No, we met online. There was a writing group on on Facebook called, what was it, Hot Breath?
Hot breath, the right
Ted. And it was something to where like every day you had like 10 minutes.
Every day at 10 a.m.
There's
they
like
would
a
post
prompt.
like a prompt, like a word of the day kind of
Oh,
thing.
shit.
And then you had like 10 minutes to write a joke about that and then post it, and then someone would win. Well, we were both in there and neither one of us like ever won it, but we loved each other's jokes.
Fuck yeah.
So we were like constantly liking each other's jokes and then just started following each other. And then we would just like, it was kind of a situation where like one of us would like post on our story of like a sold out show or something. And then the other dude would like reply to that like, yo, this is dope. And so it just kind of started just being like, I dig you. I dig you. And then he hit me up one time and was like, hey, I'm in Indiana doing a show. I'm about to come back through. I see you're in Indianapolis doing a show. Can I swing through and watch the show? And I was like, hell yeah, dude, come through. So he came and watched me do a show. And then afterwards, we went outside just to hang out for a minute. And it was just like, I don't know, it was just one of those deals to where we just went outside, chilled for a few minutes, and was
Hung
just
out
like,
on my front
oh.
porch, dude. Just
Yeah,
smoked cigarettes
outside
on the
the
hood of
van.
my van.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But it was just kind of like, I dig this. Like, this just feels good. And then, I don't know, what was it,
Like 6 weeks later.
6
we
weeks
did, like,
later, I did a show. I was putting on my own show, and I was like, hey, do you want to come just do this show with me? And he said, yeah, of course. And we did it and loved it, and then was kind of like, yeah, but what if we just always did shows together?
Fuck yeah.
And then in the beginning, you know, it was like I would headline sometimes and he would open, or, you know, we would switch back and forth a lot. And then we just talked about it like very early on, like, yo, if one of us hits it, like, we take the other one with us. And I'm so stoked it was him because, like, I would not. I'd have been like, dude, I'll see you later.
I think this might be one of the last ones we do. As you mentioned that he came to your show like that. Did that build any like tension or nerves that you knew he was coming? Have you ever had anybody that you knew that was watching you do comedy that you kind of like felt like, oh, I might like throw up because of this?
No, like the first time I did an open mic at a comedy club, because I'd been doing bars for like a few months. And then I did like our local comedy club's open mic, and like 30 people came for me. You had to bring at least 10 people or you couldn't go up. And so I, of course, like put it out on Facebook, like told everybody, hey, I'm doing this open mic. And like 30 people show up, and my grandma was one of them. And I was like, I just said a couple of things.
Stab grandma?
No, she's dead. Thanks for bringing that up.
Thought I tied it. Sorry.
This podcast is over.
17, 16, and dead. Nah, but it was just like I don't know. I felt like if I could do this in front of my grandma, like I don't care. It's like I've never. I don't know. I don't really get like. I did a show 2 weeks ago in my hometown at like our local theater for a charity event. And like the theater means a lot to me. Whenever my parents got a divorce, we moved above the theater. So like I used to live above there. It was like a big deal. And I always wanted like in comedy one day, like I'm going to headline this theater. And they had me come to a charity event, and there was like 30 people there maybe in this huge theater, and they're all sitting in the back. Oh, and I have to go do 25 minutes, so it was just like, but it like I was a little nervous before I went out there because I knew it sucked. There's not a lot of people here. This is going to be weird. I'm going to talk about some weird stuff, and I have to be clean. So I can't be like 100% myself.
Right.
But then whenever I went out, I just started like making jokes about how there's like no one here.
Did you go out there and just go like, hey, what y'all doing all the way back there?
Oh yeah, I was like, you guys know there's a comedy show? They're like, yeah. I was like, cool. So you guys like sit in the back on purpose? All right, yeah, no, I get it.
All 30 of you.
Yeah.
Have you had anybody come to your show that you were like, holy shit? Like it really rattled you?
It's more the opposite. More like I've gotten to shows, and then like when I did the Fully Loaded Festival with Bert, I wasn't supposed to be on the show. I was just going to hang out. And when I got there, Bert's like, "Fucking, you're going on," and I was like, "Fuck, I'm going on."
Oh shit!
It was like that kind of thing because like Fully Loaded Festival was like Bert and Tiffany Haddish and Mark Norman and Nate Bargatze was a special guest that night, and Jelly Roll was a special guest that night, and then I'm just there like, I have a disorder.
Now you always do that, dude. You belong on that list. You always do that. You belong on that list. You're good, dude.
Was it nerve-wracking performing like in front of Bert with Bert for the first time, like at the same show as him? Is that like because it's just like because he's such a huge presence? Is it super nerve wracking? Like if I fuck this up,
kind of, not really, because Bert, he's a comic.
Yeah,
like,
so he gets
like
it.
literally the second I got there, because I flew in and met them in Chicago. Like the bus was already there. They were already at the venue. I got there, like security leads me in the back door, like underground into the green room area, and there was a guy there making with pizza oven set up, and he was like making deep dish Chicago pizzas just for like Bert and the crew. And I showed up, and Bert is double fisting pizzas, and he's like, "Bro, you gotta fucking get in here and eat some of this." And so it's just like immediately like just chill vibes, So it's like, oh, he's a comic. This is a green room. And then when they were setting up sound and stuff, and then when I walked out of the green room, like down this big hallway into the backstage area, and I was like, oh, this part's not the same.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like a comedy club; it was like a theater for like 2,200 people, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be different. And so like that first night, like my timing was off, so I was in my head, and I thought I fucked it up, so I didn't finish my like closing joke that first night. And so when I got off stage, I was like, oh, I fucked up. And everyone, like Bert and Dave Williamson, shout out Dave was the other comic that was there, like on that tour with us. And like Bert and Dave and like the tour manager and like the videography guy, everybody's losing their minds. They're like, that was fucking incredible. And I was like, oh, okay.
It's one of those late reactions again for you, dude. One of my favorite parts of when we had the pod was it wasn't the fact of like being afraid to do comedy in front of Bert, but it was being afraid to fuck up and be dropped off at the next, what you said.
Right, but I
That
wasn't
shit
worried
was-
about fucking up on the stage.
Yeah,
I was
no.
worried about fucking up like in the hang. Like what if I wake up like in the middle of the night with no pants on and like to go take a piss, and then when I like walk back, like Bert's going to take a piss and we like bump wieners in the middle of the night. And then he's like, "Well, now that we've touched dicks, you can't be here anymore." You know?
Yeah.
Bert's
Yeah,
not
that's
that
a
guy.
totally-
Bert would totally still be friends with a dude he touched dicks with. Like,
He's friends with Tom. Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine so.
But yeah, no, like that. It was like, what if I do like the socially awkward thing where like somebody makes a phone call and they're like, "Yo, you gotta get this guy out of here."
Yeah.
Like that. I was more that. It's like, I don't want to fart in the middle of like the dessert.
Dude, I ain't got nothing. I tried to opt out before this. I'm not good at this. I told
You're
them.
crushing it, dude.
Yeah, I know. I told him I
now
wasn't
I know
good at
you
talking.
don't mean it, dude. What the fuck?
Did I say I was proud of him?
Very good point.
I've got a couple. I'm proud of you, sons. Today.
Oh,
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
man.
Wait until we actually rap and you get the pat on the back.
Oh, I've
Well, you're
never
not
got
gonna get
one
it
of
if you
them
keep making
before.
those noises. But
Yeah,
I'm
you
kidding.
will.
Make the noise.
Yeah, you will, dude.
All right. Well, I think it is about time that we wrap this one up, guys. Thank you once again for coming on the podcast, both. I'm just gonna clap by myself. It's okay. Thank you guys for that group.
They love us. They really love us.
Yes, thank you for coming and doing the show for the pod, and let these people know where they can find you at shows. I don't know when this is gonna air, but so to promote your shows and shit and your socials and everything.
I mean, Instagram's just Jake Ruble, Ruble, Jake Ruble Comedy. I mean, I don't know. Don't follow me. I don't care. Like, I don't know. I always feel weird. Like, I barely post stuff. Sometimes I will. So if you like it, cool. Come see me.
I like your Facebook interactions though. Don't
Facebook.
you fuck
is
with
like,
Facebook hard? I really enjoy your Facebook.
I appreciate that. Yeah, for whatever. It's probably my age. Like, I'm way more into Facebook than I am Instagram for some reason. But everybody's always like, "What's your Instagram?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, no, Facebook
I
is
should do
you have
that.
such a a warm hug to your people on Facebook. It's always like top people and shit. It's always the cool stuff. It's like, oh, they're getting nice little awards and everything.
Yeah,
it's
dude,
fucking
it's
sick.
a community. Like I always said that I wanted to be like I don't care to be famous, but it'd be cool to have like a community.
Right.
Like I'm not trying to start a cult, wink,
Hard wink.
you know. But the only reason I don't want to do it is start a cult is just because I don't like. It sounds cool, but eventually I have to fuck everyone's wife. You know what I mean? Like all cult leaders do that, and it's like, dude, I don't have that kind of time.
No, he said
You
no.
know,
I don't.
I don't want to do that.
I'm not
Like,
scheduling these.
Dude, that sounds so exhausting. I don't think I can do it.
Okay. AJWilkerson.com. Also for the podcast for the What in Tardation, the website for that is tardpod.com.
Fucking love it. The names.
I'm good at naming stuff, dude.
It's so good.
It was just available.
Oh, weird.
Like, you're just there.
No one else had that?
Nobody else had that. dude.
That's so weird.
No, you don't understand. That really is wild, dude. AJ Wilkerson Comedy was already taken, but Tard Pod was available.
Yeah, but AJ Wilkerson Comedy's taken because I bought it and I was going to wait and sell it to you when you were like super famous. And just about, you want it now? You got the money now, dude.
You want to drop me from your little thing here? Well, I got this. Well, no, thank you guys very much for coming, man. Thank you guys listening. Make sure you're subscribing to the On Tap, to the Boogered Up, following these guys, doing everything. And I'll say our part. You guys say your part. Don't do anything we wouldn't do.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a pleasure to meet you guys. Come to the show.
Locked in. I had to send it to him.
so much.
I wanted it
Is
so
it-
bad.
Is it my turn? Is it my turn again? Hey, thank you so much for coming to the podcast.
It's so professional, dude.
Well, fucking thanks. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
your name from now on is professional. You're the professional from now on.
We're bringing
That is
back
what-
nicknames.
That is what. Yeah, we're bringing back nicknames, and you're pro.
Thank you, bro. I'll
Yeah.
take that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, dude. You're welcome, dude. I feel good about this moment with us.
It's like one of the first good fatherly type moments I've ever had.
Dude,
Cool.
yeah, his
Hell
dad's
yeah.
a dick too. You guys could bond over that.
How old are
Oh
you?
well, I mean they
I'm
could, but Jake
24.
is also about to
Oh,
walk out of
okay.
his
So
life.
yeah, that could be your dad.
You'd be a damn young dad, but
I mean, yeah, I'm 37, so
I think the math adds up.
yeah, it sounds about right. What'd you say? I missed it. We were having a father-son moment.
No, that's what we were
That's what we
talking
were
about
talking
as well.
What'd you say?
You were like, he was like, oh, my dad was also a piece of shit, and he was like, yeah, you guys can bond over that, and I was like, well, Jake is also about to walk out of his life. though."
That is true, dude. I'll never talk to you again. But in like 10 years, you're gonna get a random birthday card from me.
All right.
Let's go get you a pack of
God,
smoke.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go get some smokes, dude.
Catch you guys next episode. Peace.